Hello and welcome back to Explain It Slowly. Today is the exact opposite of last week's episode with the doctor. If not, he is a doctor in being a hoodie. He's a dear friend of mine. Kwite, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, man. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you asked to be on the okay, no, you were gonna be on. You're on the list, right, of people I want to get on, but you messaged me, you're like, I want to be on.
That was mostly an excuse so I could ask you when you're going to upload the videos to the YouTube channel.
No, I know. I need to do that. I've been, focusing on trying to make it, on all the platforms, like iTunes and, I guess, Amazon and all of them. So I haven't prioritized the YouTube channel, but...
That's where a lot of the growth will come from, I think. Because, it has some of, the best discovery systems. So, people who find it on YouTube are more likely to, convert to other platforms so they can take it with them and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta figure out, how I'm gonna do it, because I don't want to, make, I want to make it easier to upload, so I don't want to have it be too complex, when I do it. So I figured it might just be, one waveform instead of, a waveform for everybody speaking and all that stuff.
Dude, screw waveforms, man. It's an audio podcast.
No, I know, but I feel like some people will stare at it and
get mesmerized, sometimes just fall into a trance. Can't look away.
No. I've done that with podcasts that have the waveform, where you just look at the thing and you're like, wow.
I haven't done it with waveforms, but I've done it with CS:GO surf gameplay. Hate me for this if you want, but I was just watching old Luna videos. And I was just watching him surf, man. Sometimes I just pull up a CS:GO surf compilation while I'm in a Discord call, and I just watch the CS:GO surf compilation with the audio off.
You know what I'll do if I want room noise? There's videos of walking around Tokyo at 4 a.m. in the snow, and it's 3 hours of this guy just walking around very quietly in the dead of night.
I don't think
damn.
I don't think ASMR would help me focus, but maybe just general ambient noise could.
Yeah, not ASMR. I can't handle some chick dressed as a nurse pretending to clean my ears or something. That's weird.
Yeah, that's poking too many demons I'm trying to push down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, clearly it's just pushing down to bring out the demons. It's just something about her cleaning the ears,
It just does something to you,
No, but... Speaking of unrelated things, for the podcast, I can't get a guest on every episode, right? And I've been trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do. Because it's if you have a podcast that's based around guests, what do you do when you don't have guests?
Skip a week?
See, I don't want to do that because so I've reached out to some other YouTube channels that won't be named. But because we're commentary channels, there's a stigma associated with that. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know, at least for me. It just might be because I'm a little edgier, but...
I think it definitely depends on the commentary channel that you are. The ex-Viners have done incredible work paving the way for the rest of us to be more broadly accepted.
They're fixing our image.
But I understand some of what you're saying, but it's not been a huge issue for me personally.
Oh yeah, long and short of it is that film YouTubers just aren't answering me, and I don't know if it's because they think I'm some fraud or something else. But
what I was saying is that some people just don't use Twitter that much, which is probably the way to go. If
see,
I could
the one, yeah, I yesterday I was just I think I'm done for Twitter for the rest of the year, to be honest. I had been spending a lot of time thinking about social media because the world is ending, and I just decided nope. I don't think Twitter's a good use of my time.
I would like to be off Twitter, and I've taken steps to change how I use it, but I want to maintain the following I have there, and I also the connections that it put the people it puts me in connection with, because I've met some cool people through it. So it's not an avenue I want to just throw away,
Yeah, no, that's my problem too. Our job is definitely helped by communicating with other creators on Twitter, but then Twitter is so fucking horrendous.
I try to like just make it, or like I've tried to structure it in a way where like it's mostly like just a browsing platform for me, and I can treat it like a completely impersonal thing where it's like Reddit or some shit, where like you just go mindlessly without really concerning yourselves with like the you know inter Twitter drama, if you want to put it like that.
There's literally like a new controversy every 10 minutes on Twitter, and I am a master debater. So I cannot. It requires so much physical fucking willpower not to respond to like some dumb opinion on the internet. I know it won't help me, but I just can't help it.
You gotta reel it in. I'm telling you, you're sowing the seeds of your own destruction.
Because 10 years from now, when we're all Minecraft characters living in the Matrix, they'll cancel me for a tweet I made 10 years ago.
I'm not even saying cancel, bro. You're just running your mental ragged.
No, that's true, especially this time of the year. Like,
yeah. Winter just gets like rougher. Shit's cold. I want to go outside and swim, but instead I just have to swim in this blanket.
Like everything's like shutting down again too, and it's good. I don't want to go back to that. I know you're like working at home all the time, but I have to leave very regularly. I don't know if you're leaving regularly now.
I've been in pretty much all the time since quarantine.
Doesn't that suck though?
I'm pretty adjusted to it. Like it does suck. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a little more well equipped for it because I did it a lot in high school like that. And when I was just doing YouTube ahead of that, my schedule didn't change that much.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
I mean, Discord has been a help.
I mean, Discord can only help so much, It's like for example, right? I keep trying to make friends at my new college, but everybody is so fucking like normie. And then like just recently, I got an email from like our director of safety. And we have to switch to online classes because apparently some idiots got together and held a not social distance, not masked wearing party. Apparently there's like a tip line where you can rat people out.
Every person I know who's been going back to college because they had to or whatever, like they've all been saying that every single college they're at has just been hosting parties that aren't socially distanced, that are against the rules technically. I don't even know, man. It just doesn't. It doesn't seem like the right time. I feel like they should have just held off a year, but what do I know about college?
They have been doing a pretty good job of... I don't know what it's like at other schools, but I know specifically for mine, they have a pretty robust contact tracing system, which is like... I mean, I think is a violation of my rights, but I want to finish my education, so I'll let them win this one, right? But so they have like a whole team that'll track down everybody, like down to the room and doorknob, which is great, and so recently at the beginning of the year, there were students that deliberately held a party and deliberately knew somebody was there who had COVID, so they're all getting charged, like criminal charges,
as they should,
and they lost their like they can't come back to school. It's done, like they're fucked. They got bigger things to worry about now.
That's tough, man.
We just switched to online course.
I
mean, like, no, go ahead.
It's like obviously I don't like revel that like somebody's kind of career opportunities have been shuttered, but you're playing with lives at that point,
No, yeah, for real. Like, honestly, I don't even give a shit. They probably weren't the sharpest tools in the shed to begin with. Like, like those people who wear the mask and it's like below their nose. It's like, what are you doing?
I can at least respect those people because they're like, they're not like, they're putting in something of an effort, and they're probably a little more likely to, like be open to hearing like, oh, you should put the thing over your nose than somebody who just like refuses to wear a mask.
I don't know. It's different because like in New York, right? There's all these signs when you're on public transit that say, don't wear a mask like this or like this. Wear it like this. And I've seen people literally sit directly under those signs wearing the mask wrong, and I'm just
dude, why didn't you take a picture? That's an incredible Reddit post.
I've the thing is I've seen Reddit posts like that, but
it's like having the Minecraft name right above your head, except it's instructions on how to wear a mask.
It's all the time though. I think at this rate, like there's like people who get on a train and they just don't have a mask. I'm just like, well, they don't have a mask. That's their problem.
The thing is, though, it's like the masks are supposed to be for other people.
Yeah.
So the people who aren't wearing it are like detrimenting the people who are wearing it more than it is vice versa.
Yeah, the people who don't wear it, especially on like New York City public transit, they're like the people who get on the subway train and are like blasting music or like doing something they really shouldn't be doing on public transit anyway. Like they're the people. Like my girlfriend told me recently about a guy getting on the subway without a mask, and he started vaping on the train in the car. What? Like that's insane. Like what are you nuts?
Bro, you can vape through the mask.
You can vape. You just cut a little hole out in the middle.
Nah, bro. You don't even need holes.
You just lift it up.
Well, actually, my friends have told me they've smoked through the mask. I don't know if you can vape. Like literally through the mask. Like you just fucking put it up to the mask and you can inhale through it. Apparently.
Well, that doesn't seem like that doesn't really instill confidence in me for the mask thing.
No, it's because
all.
it's like you just be inhaling smoke, which is just another gas. It's meant to pass through your through there. It's like thinner than germs, from what I understand, at least.
Okay. Yeah, but this guy got on. He was just like vaping and doing stuff he shouldn't have been. I mean, that happens all the time. Like you spend enough time on New York public transit.
I should clarify, I don't know the science behind the mask in smoking bit. I just wouldn't recommend it personally, but
I
just
actually, guys, if you could all go ahead and do that, that'd be great.
Holy shit.
But it's been all the time. I don't know. I feel like recently I've been able to like notice more crazy shit. Maybe it's just because everybody's just going into collective psychosis. Like
my life is so
November's coming up,
benign.
everybody's going
Everything
nuts.
interests me.
Nah. Everybody's going crazy. Like I'm insane now. Anyway, I actually,
dude, it's like the Joker in real life.
we all live in a society now.
We do, technically.
Damn, that's rough. No, okay, quite. There are things I wanted to ask you before we got on this tangent about the fucking pandemic, because I'm sure everybody wants to hear about the pandemic again.
Did you guys know there's a pandemic happening? Did you know?
Did
I've
you
been
guys
hearing
hear
whispers.
the president got COVID
What?
and got experimental
What?
drugs? Guys,
No,
did you
I don't
hear
believe you, man.
He said things that were bad.
Why didn't he just say no? They can't enter your body if you say no.
Guys,
Seems like
everybody
an oversight
panic.
for the president.
Please,
He should just said no.
Everybody panic a lot.
All right.
Just
What did
panic
you want to
right now.
ask me? I'm sorry for derailing
No,
your
okay.
podcast.
It's fine. But no, I wanted to ask, like, okay, so you've gone from being just like a YouTuber in your parents' house, and now you're on your own. We're still doing this.
What do you mean we're still doing this? I'm not sure what you're on about.
I thought you said you were hanging up the lore.
I'm not really sure what you're on about. I mean, a hoodie's
What was
a hoodie.
the process of moving out, right? Well, you've done a lot of things, right? I want to explore this with you.
Let's go. I'm done. Let's do it.
What? For fuck's sake, I'm trying to like ask this question in the vaguest way possible, so that way like you can answer it in a vague fashion.
Just ask your question. If it's too much, I'll just tell you.
Okay, right. But you've not like recently, before the pandemic happened, you had moved out.
I actually
Right.
moved out in the middle of it.
Oh, in the middle of it?
I started living on my own, like early 2020 before the pandemic, but I like moved mid-pandemic, to a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Still alone though.
What was the process of that like to like figure out? And second of all, with this being your job, how did that like impact people? Like did you take a tour places and they go, I don't know if I can let you in with a job like that kind of deal?
Honestly, it was never really an issue, like the job aspect of it, but it was mostly just pretty standard. Look at some places I was interested in, go there, talk to the leasing office. They gave me a tour. If I liked it, I hit them back. If not, I didn't. And I just found a place, did the application, and it went through. It was pretty easy process for me personally, which I'm thankful for, because I know that some people just have nightmares trying to move out fast. But I think part of it has been because of the pandemic. It's probably created something of like a demand for housing, and like they're pretty, or like where apartments and stuff are pretty not desperate, but they're a little more urgent about trying to get people in these units that they couldn't fill up.
So you think that like because you moved out during the pandemic and when looking for a place that people were gonna like look the other way for things that might be a little bit risky? Because I
don't think
I don't know.
looking,
I think if I was a landlord, it would be
way.
risky.
I don't think they're looking the other way. I think that they just have more empty units than usual because, like, we're in a recession right now, right? So less people who would be moving into apartments before are, or less people than would be are. So since I was, like, one of the few people who was looking and was, like, interested, they probably were less picky about, selecting occupants. Plus, it's not like I have, like, any terrible stain on my record, so...
Yeah, no, it was like... I wanted to ask because it was like right now I'm trying to move out of my basement, my parents' basement, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like you go looking and then people are like, "Oh, you got to have good credit. We want to see history of employment and blah blah blah." But I mean, I figured because everything was like going nuts that it might change how people handle and look at things, I didn't realize it was that easy for you.
As long as you can prove that you can pay every month, I don't think they'll care that much.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's just been my experience. If like you can if you meet rent, or if you show that you can meet rent, most other things are just whatever.
Oh, okay. See, because I was looking at it, and it's like this one place was like only history with good credit. And I'm just like, well, how am I gonna move it? I have $120,000 some odd dollars in student loans. I don't know if that counts as good credit.
Yeah.
It's credit. It's not very good.
Yeah, it's a pretty anecdotal experience, just because for how relatively easy it was. But I had to do it pretty quick because the lease on my last place was running out. So I'm glad, because I would have just been out by the end of a certain week if I hadn't gotten in.
You would have been out on the streets. Begging for views, showing people it's like, look at this iPad, and it has your video on it.
Be pretty funny. Like, imagine being a street performer on New York, but you just show them your YouTube videos.
The thing is that happens, but it's with SoundCloud, and then people give them CDs, and they're like, here's my mixtape. Now give me $5.
See, if I were them, I would just play the mixtape, as the performance.
I honestly don't know why people are giving out physical mixtapes. It's like they just want $5 and just start begging for money. But
yeah, they probably don't have a mixtape.
I mean, it's all online now. Like, it's weird. Like, if a guy was like, buy my mixtape, I'd just be like, just put it online.
Dude, the industry's evolving, dude. You got to change with it.
The industry's evolving. You got to dance on TikTok, or you got to get a teenager to dance for you on TikTok.
That's a pretty good marketing strategy.
Now, how do you come up with video ideas? Because right before this, we were talking about your script writing, but what's the process of that for you?
For me, I just kind of keep an eye out on Twitter and stuff for things that are happening. It's just trying to stay in line, or not in line, stay in touch with what's happening, and just picking out the ones that I think that click the best. Because I see maybe 4 or 5 things that I could potentially make a video on, but that I just don't really pursue because I'm just not feeling them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I have a big list of things that I can look through if I want to nab an idea from there, but I very rarely actually do that. And a lot of times the ideas I get will just be talking with other YouTubers I know. We'll just be spitballing back and forth. Sometimes. Can come from a lot of different places, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, most of my ideas, they'll just kind of, come to me, and then I'll write them down, and then sometimes I won't ever come back to them, sometimes I will. The thing with, covering, I don't know, dramas specifically is that, you gotta get there and get there fast, and then also be interesting and not say the same thing that everybody else is saying, but also say the thing that everybody wants to hear, and... I don't know. I find it kind of difficult and frustrating. But I don't know. I mean, if you like doing it, that's fine. I just know I have trouble like, I mean, for example, I'm not trying to be on Twitter, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. That's like part of why getting rid of Twitter isn't fully plausible, because I do get a lot of good stuff from there. But also, I've moved away from like the more serious kind of stuff in like recent months, maybe in like the last year or so. And it has opened some doors. Like, I feel a little better about making a video on back to school commercials or just gotcha life cringe, you know?
Mm. I mean, I imagine that it just brings a lot more positivity in your life when you change up the content like that to stuff that's not so, I don't know, fucking high stakes.
To an extent, I feel like I have more creative freedom because I'm less concerned with getting every minute detail of information right, because I'd still like fuck it up back in the day sometimes. Like, I'd get some information wrong. And like, but with these videos, I'm not framing it as something super serious. So even if you do get something wrong, it's not as big of a deal because it's not information that's like that detrimental to anybody in sort of like one way or another, you know?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be getting heated if you got something wrong about the Gotcha Life community. Which, by the way, I don't know what that is, but this is your video is like the third one that I've seen talking about it.
Dude, that video is like going up and recommended, and then it got dinged. It made me so sad, but it kind of had it coming, if I'm being honest.
See, I haven't been able to watch that. I haven't been able to watch much YouTube content lately, actually. But why did it get dinged?
Look at the thumbnail, bro.
I just got finished. Oh boy.
The thing is, like, it had gotten approved before I had added the thumbnail, and I just wasn't thinking. So like, the video itself is good, and like the criteria, I'm pretty sure was accurate. But then I added that thumbnail after the fact, and it was doing well, and a Google employee saw it, and then they dinged it. I'm like, actually, that's fair. Like, I can't really fight that too much, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get away with reviewing Niccocado's OnlyFans. Big mistake there. I don't know what I thought. I was like upset that it got demonetized too.
Yeah,
but it's like, of course it did.
Yeah, I mean, like the biggest OnlyFans video I had, that got dinged.
But not the. So you just did the I bought every celebrity's OnlyFans. That didn't.
That's monetized. The TikTok one is monetized, and the YouTubers one isn't. And like, the reason the other two are monetized is because I didn't do what got me demonetized in that first one.
What did you do in the first one? It's been a while.
So I think it was the censored nudity. I had misread that particular guideline, so I just didn't include any censored pics in the ones after that.
Mm-hmm.
I just like described the content in vague terms.
Yeah, I think I got demonetized because I described the penis of Nickocado Avocado, or maybe it was the sounds of them having butt sex, but I'm not entirely sure.
I called his asshole a sarlacc pit in the first one, and I think that might have not helped my case.
You know, it was April's birthday recently. Wait.
Nickocado asshole. Oh yeah, by the way, it's my girlfriend's birthday.
Yeah. Okay. So we watch Nickocado all the time, like unironically. We sit down and we watch him. And she wanted not an OnlyFans from Nickocado. She wanted a cameo from Nickocado. So, by the way, his cameo, $100.
That's steep. Less than I'd charge.
I am very surprised that he was so pricey. Orland's more. Orland's like 115, 120, something like that.
I mean, maybe he just is running a richer market, like less people, but more wealthy people, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how many wealthy individuals are watching Nickocado and Orland fight over Denny's.
Well, did you get the cameo?
Well, I did.
Damn. Now I know why you can't move out.
It was a. Yeah, I know, good investment. No, it was funny. It was funny. We both enjoyed it. You know, like it was a gift for her.
I'm glad.
And she liked it. But I had wrote in like the letter to him because you had to tell him like what you want, and I was like, oh, you know, my girlfriend and I watch you together all the time, dude. He did like a 7-minute video to us.
What a G! What a fucking G, man.
he's like, it makes me feel so flattered that you guys sit down together and watch me, and it's like he's like, I'm so glad that I can do that as an entertainer and bring people together. And all I can think is like, what is this man like in real life?
Did you get around to watching that James Marriott interview?
I did. Yeah,
What did you think?
that was like, so I did a Nickocado video about Nickocado being fake. That this entire thing has been like, one big just, stunt. Now, I don't know about like the mukbang controversy he had with what's her name, Stephanie So. But everything else is fake. I mean, aside from him eating himself into a grave, but it was really interesting, that James Marriott interview. It was phenomenal. Like, I personally want to interview Nickocado Avocado because there's something really just compelling about him. Maybe in like a trashy reality TV way, but there's something genuinely compelling about him, and I can't describe it, but it is.
I feel like you probably enjoy it as disaster porn.
Yeah, I do enjoy it as like, I mean, I like trashy reality TV, so.
Yeah, that's never really been my alley, but, I also watch, like, vlogs and stuff where, like, crazy shit happens and, just some weird shit as well, so I can understand the appeal.
Yeah. But it's one of those, Jesus, why is my phone ringing? I think this is my school calling about the party those kids had. Are you kidding me, man? Oh my Lord. No, but so like, people for a long time thought Nickocado was real, and I don't really know how people thought that. Either that or everybody's really stupid. But I don't know. I mean, when you've seen Nickocado, you never thought it was real, I'm guessing, right? Like, I'm not like a crazy person.
Truthfully, it's hard to tell sometimes. Like, before I had the context of James Marriott asking him if it was real, you never really knew, because the crying seemed genuine. Like, he looked like he was a genuinely distraught man.
He seemed genuinely distraught. I don't know. I would have watched the videos where him and Orlin, like, smack each other with pool noodles, or, like...
I didn't watch those. I just watched, like, the crying compilations.
Crying. No, his crazy, like, freak out compilations are just so funny. They're so funny. That's what got me into him. But I kind of figured from the second... Huh? Great, now Niccocado's gonna hit on me. No, but like, I don't know, I can't explain it. I can't explain what makes him compelling. I like the disaster porn aspect of it, that's for sure.
If it is fake though, he is an incredible entertainer. It's he
is an incredible entertainer.
It's a well sold performance. I
am very. I would bet money that everything that Nick has put out is fake, or at least the most recent stuff, because it's stuff that's based in reality. I think. It's like he talks about his time he got chlamydia in Colombia.
Maybe
that's real.
Like, maybe like stories he tells are real, but like he says them in a way that is a character. But even so, like, I would kind of want it to be fake, because I want to like think of him as somebody who's like doing this for a bag and is gonna like move on to the next thing later.
He keeps saying he's gonna change into a fitness channel one day, like once he hits 400 pounds. It
was 300 or 400, but apparently he's struggling to hit that mark because his metabolism just like won't get him there.
I mean, the more weight you put on, the more you have to eat to maintain that weight.
Right.
So he's like, he'll eat like a whole table of everything from Cheesecake Factory, and he still can't put on the pounds.
Well, more power to him.
I don't know. It's super dangerous.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, just the idea of the stomach expanding like that. Can't do it, man. It just hurts.
I also think part of it's a fetish for him.
Do you?
Listen, I looked at his OnlyFans.
I mean, I have too, dude.
Oh, well, I don't know. There was a video of him being like on his OnlyFans where he's like, yeah, I did this mukbang with my cock out. Just playing with my cock the whole time.
Well, to me, that makes sense, If OnlyFans is like an extension of what people already enjoy you for, why not just add that element?
Add the element of
put some pizza sauce on the penis. Just get to it.
I don't want to. I'm less sure about calling Nickocado a feeder.
A feeder? Is that like a
Feeder
term
is
for
no, no,
a certain
okay,
fetish?
no. A feeder is somebody who feeds a gainer. So there's a. All right, welcome to Diesel's fetish explained.
Do it slowly,
A
please.
So a gainer is somebody who gets off on being fed and gaining weight, right? So they'll do things that are like, I mean, first of all, this is very bad for your health, but basically they get turned on by being fed or force fed, anything in the middle, you know. A feeder is somebody who gets off on making someone gain weight by force feeding them or feeding them.
So I've heard of that before, but I didn't know the terms for it. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's a very educational podcast. You know, I had the intention of making this podcast educationally based. Not this one.
Not this particular episode. Did you wanna like try and steer it back on track?
See, the things I wanted to ask you were like, you know, like you run like Calbus and you've done things that are like managing people,
Yeah.
right? And I wanted to ask you what that experience is like, because most YouTubers are just solo operators, but the idea of like running people and doing that is a completely different experience, you know? Like, so what are the things you've like gained or like learned from doing, you know, stuff like that, or doing like group things?
So the main thing is like you have to kind of establish a grit to yourself. Like you can't be afraid to like say no to certain things, or like kind of assert what it is you're trying to achieve, or like where somebody isn't meeting, like when somebody isn't meeting the things that you have set out for them. And that was like a hurdle I had to get over a bit. But I'm lucky that these days I've found a very solid group of people who I jibe with, to the point where like they can give me feedback too. And it's like with Calbus specifically, the people I work with there are Zen and Lumo, and both of them have been like, they've suggested subreddits that have been popping that have paid off very well. They've thought of ways like maybe we can expand the brand. They've just been very proactive about it, so it's been good working with them specifically. For the second channel, I have an editor as well, and like the editor for that's Elliot Elbob, so I go way back with him, so like I'm just able to communicate with him pretty well. But yeah, I think the main challenge was just being able to, you have to be able to lay down the law every now and then. Like, it's not fun firing somebody.
I mean, I'd imagine, like, when you do things like that, I don't know if there's, like, a specific kind of, like, mentality you just have overall to, like, leading people, but, you know, like, the decision-making, I'd imagine, like, you have to take in just, like, oh, what is this gonna mean for, like, the people that I pay, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, that seems very stressful. As somebody who, you know, does his own stuff on his own, I just feel worried about, like, not getting those things, or being worried about not meeting up to the standards that other people, like, assume of me.
Yeah. It's like I said though. It was about finding that right group of people, which I was lucky enough to be able to do pretty early on.
I don't know. I've always, like, maybe it's just me personally, but I think I like to lead, right? But then I also feel as if like if somebody's not on, like, the same wavelength, I just get absolutely fucking, like, furious. I don't know. I mean, I try to, like, lay it out for people when I've done, like, group things, but now I don't know. I try and lead less, just because it just, I don't know, it doesn't interest me. Yeah, well, for example, like with film school, for like I'm usually a DP, so I'm always behind a camera, but I'm never in charge of what the thing looks like. So on one hand, I don't have to, like, blame myself if it comes out looking like shit, you know. But then if you work with somebody who's, like, not good at leading, it just, you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do the entire time, you know, or you just don't know, like, how you're supposed to handle things.
Yeah, but I mean,
like, when you were in school, I don't know if you've had, you know, the bad group project.
Yeah, the group project.
You know,
the thing with leading though is like it's literally like any other skill. You're not great at it at the start, and I'm not even necessarily fantastic right now. It's just you pick up things by doing it more, and we're coming up like into a year on Calbus, which is like you're straight of daily operation. you pick you find out to an extent what works, what doesn't, and but you learn how things work with specific people as well. So I think it does come back, at least as it stands, it does come back to that kind of core group of people having a lot of people who are on the same page, which is what it sounds like you were struggling with at the time. You just couldn't get people who were understanding what you were trying to get done.
Yeah, I mean, I've had experiences in leadership roles, but especially when you do something for a long time, kind of ideas and feelings on a project will change. When I did esports management, the whole idea was competitive, building this competitive scene in Massachusetts, and it was going pretty well, but then people were like, yeah, but I could get something out of this because when you run a club, it kind of runs where it's people can be voted into chairs and voted out. So we had at one point pretty much the entire gaming student body was a member in some capacity. So when you have 100 people that are all going to be voting on who's going to be the president, I ended up switching from having to worry about oh, what is our goals for the whole group, and I tried to maintain those goals, but then some people are I think I want it for myself now, so if you could give me the president position, that'd be great.
That just seems like a position that wouldn't be fun to be in.
No, I really enjoyed it. I think some people because in that position, right, there was all these career opportunities where it's if you're the guy who or girl, who gets this done and you're able to do it, then companies that get investors are going to be that's really good. I like that. And I spent time with board meetings with directors of other companies that were wanting to invest in the school for the program, and it's people would see that and they're man, I think I'm gonna take over as leader now.
Okay, so high demand because of the high reward.
Yeah.
I'm not super well versed on how I guess student clubs work, or just things like that in general. So you'd probably know a little more.
I mean, it runs as a business, so...
Yeah.
But it's not anybody's trying to take your position at
Yeah, it's that. That was the main thing I was thinking. It's well, this is a thing I started, so I don't really have to worry about being upended unless I want to leave on my own terms, And
I can't imagine you leaving on your own terms. I mean, you employ these people, and I mean, it's a business, and it runs well, so why stop?
I mean, the extent might be I just take an even more passive role, because I was doing the voiceover work for it at the start, and then I moved to just doing the thumbnails and the behind the scenes stuff. I might just move to being even more passive, where maybe I just organize things, but I have someone doing the thumbnails and post gathering and all that themselves.
I mean, that whole delegation portion of doing a leadership role is super important. So even though you're saying it's more passive, you're just switching what you do. You're not necessarily not working.
The thing is, I could delegate the leadership role I have right now to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And still technically be in the business, but not really doing
you're the one
anything
that gives out the money. So you're the guy at the top because you have the change.
Well, I mean, before the channel was doing well, it's only recently become profitable. But before it was doing well, I would be funding it out of what I had made from Kwite. I'd just be taking it out of my pocket to fund this next venture,
Mm-hmm. And
now that it's working,
with your channel, I mean, God, the last time we've sat down to do a recorded, you've passed 1 million subs, Jesus, dude.
It caught me off guard too, man. I did not think it would be happening this soon, if ever at some point,
I mean, I'm not surprised. You just got a good vibe in your videos, and you have the whole hoodie thing, and people can dress up as now. People can really dress up as you for Halloween.
Yeah, I appreciate that though, man. Thank you. It's not I thought it would never happen. It just felt so far out that to have it happen all at once was very shocking,
I mean, that's how it always happens, where it's like, oh, I didn't think I would be here now, and now I am, you know?
Yeah, it was like a goal I had set for late 2021, 2022, and I hit it in August, which it
Hey, I mean,
sped along the time frame, which I'm grateful for, of course, but
and yeah, and like, there's been times where it's like, I know we've had conversations where you've had like downs in your channels and ups, but
yeah.
like, it's just all part of the whole process of doing. I mean, YouTube is like one version of like running a business on your own, but it's pretty much the
running
same
a
for
business
any
at this
business.
point.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah.
I think with the million, I tried to force myself to come to terms with like the peaks and valleys of YouTube, because I knew that riding that high, the crash might be the hardest. So I tried my best to like prep myself for, okay, this might just be a now thing, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Are you worried about it being a now thing at all, or?
I mean, I think I have some time on YouTube left, so I don't think I'm particularly worried about fading off completely. My meme is just like, maybe not getting 200,000 subscribers a month every month is okay. Like, it's not a bad thing to just be like coasting sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know with me, I'm so like goal oriented that if I'm not doing phenomenal, it must mean that I'm doing horrendous.
Yeah, I'm pretty goal oriented too. Like, a million was that goal for a long time, but I've started to realize that those goals really do just take time. Like, Corpse Husband, right?
Yeah.
So he's fucking killing it right now, and he deserves it because he's just been grinding. But that came like off of like after a long period of just like not doing bad, but it just seemed to come out of nowhere after a long time of just keeping at it. It's the same way that like YouTube started. Like, I was just hacking away at it for 10 some years before anything really went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's just kind of an
like,
extension of that,
It's definitely like, you put in the time. I think probably the hardest like move for like going from that point where you're like, oh, can I get to this number, or on YouTube, is like just finding out how the systems work, or just finding out like what people like, because you've tried out a lot of different types of content before you've gotten to the point where you are now. And I mean, it's all been in like the similar vein, but like,
yeah,
there were times where you would try stuff out, and sometimes it just
didn't pay off.
Wouldn't work,
and that's okay. It's like that was part of what I was trying to prep myself for, is being okay with failure and not feeling like a down is necessarily a failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a problem that a lot of YouTubers have, where they're just like not okay with doing okay. It just might be how the entire like business works, Yeah. But it's like, I'll have like, so I had those banger Yandev videos, which is awesome.
Congrats on that, by the way. They were very good.
Yeah. Paying my bills this month, Yandev. Keep doing something weird. Come on. I need another one. No, but like, I'll do a video like that, and then like, businesses will come out of nowhere and they're like, you should support our product, or like do sponsorship, and then I upload like my video on a North Korean YouTuber, and then all of them disappear. And it's like, it's one of those things that can very easily turn into like an indicator of like, you're a failure. That might just be because I can be rather pessimistic, but I know I'm not the only one, because I hear YouTubers talk about that like all the fucking time.
Yeah, but I guess the thing to take away from them is that every single one of them has gotten past it. So why shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I listened to, feel free to bully me for this, but I listened to Impulsive a decent bit, and even Logan Paul talks about like the natural ups and downs and ebb and flow of YouTube channels, because it was finally put in a position where like he got to feel that,
Mm-hmm. That's pretty intense to be like, yeah, the Logan Paul was feeling that, because he's a fucking millionaire. He doesn't need to worry about his bills.
Yeah, but like even like the more I hear about it, the more it seems like you don't really escape the feeling of the rat race as long as you're on YouTube. Not in I guess the rat race is the wrong term, but not the rat race. I don't know how to word this very well. I'm gonna.
I
be
mean,
honest.
we're all racing to be number one.
I'm trying to like marry two separate things he said. Where like, YouTube ebbs and flows, right? But he said he also doesn't feel a need to post to YouTube. Like he'll make content when he feels like he has something to post.
Yeah.
And I'm not there yet, but obviously that would be the dream,
Yeah, the post because you want to, not because like you have to.
Yeah, and to be fair, part of me like wants to post as frequently as I do. Because I feel like by constantly working at it, I am getting better.
I mean, that's true. Like, the more time you put into making content, the better you're gonna be at it. I just went back and I watched like an old video of mine, and I'm just like, Jesus, like that was fucking horrendous. And it was like less than a year ago that video was.
Yeah, dude, if you go like to my early 2018 shit, I'm practically streaming. Like I don't like I don't think it's necessarily bad or terrible, but fuck me, it's very different from what I'm doing now,
Yeah, I mean, like, when I look at my old content, I'm just like, God, you boring fuck. But I might be boring now. I don't know. My videos have gotten so long that I can't imagine anybody sitting down to watch a 40-minute video of me talk about North Korea.
I don't even know if, like, I've gotten better or if my sensibilities have just shifted.
I think part of it, I think it's both, honestly. I know I personally have gotten better with my stuff, but what I take as, like, a good piece of content is different from what it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I never know if I'm personally improving. Like I feel like I am, but I don't know. I don't know. Lol.
It like with YouTube and like making videos, you just passively get better with like things like editing and writing. It's like with any skill, like even with you said with like leadership earlier, it's built up over time, and you got to practice it to actually get better at it. You know, like you're never gonna be shredding on a guitar if you never pick up the fucking guitar, kind of deal.
Yep, that's totally right.
And it's the same thing for YouTube videos. Like one thing that's actually gotten me patrons, for example, is my stuff with After Effects, where people are like, "Wow, that was a lot of work. I guess I'll give you money because you do that." And I'm like, "No, that's nice. I appreciate that." Like somebody just recently sent me a message on Patreon about that, so I forget your name, but thank you. But yeah, it definitely is like a gain skills thing. Speaking of skills, in a vague way, without revealing your inner hoodie. What are things that you do outside of the channel? Are you just doing this right now because of pandemic?
This has been the majority of my productive time. I feel like I've been playing more games than I have watching shows, because I was pretty light on consuming media other than YouTube for a while, and I've just been doing my best to try and break back into it. Like I've watched some movies that I probably never would have watched if I wasn't in quarantine. I started playing this game Control recently. It's actually a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I've seen Control. Haven't played it. It looks pretty.
It is very like trippy, psychedelic kind of meme. Honestly, I think that's it though. Like just media consumption.
I mean, it's something. Plus, with being trapped inside, it's kind of one of the best things. I mean, I was doing that for a bit, but now I'm so fucking busy. I can't even can't do anything.
Yeah, the grind has been the center of my system, I guess, for this period of time.
I'm always interested to find out what people are. I mean, maybe in any other year, you'd be doing something.
Any other year, I'd
outside.
be traveling.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do that too. I miss traveling so much.
Right, but it's kind of hard to say. Like the quarantine, it sucked, right? But would I have had the success that I've had this year without it? I don't know. So, and the success I'm having now might enable me to do even cooler stuff in 2021 that I wouldn't have been able to if 2020 hadn't been the way it had been. And so I guess I try to just reconcile how monotonous it's been with what I might be able to do when it's done,
Yeah. And it's like people, I remember at the beginning of quarantine, people were like, you got to be productive. You can fill this up with learning new things.
You can, but you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't feel the need to.
Yeah, I think there's like this weird push now to be like, oh, I gotta hustle to make six figures.
Dude, hustle culture is gonna fucking kill our generation.
Holy
I swear.
shit, it is gonna fucking. Dude, I mean, I consume a lot of that like hustle culture content. Some of it's like good, just like nice productivity things. Like Thomas Frank has a really great channel about productivity and like study habits and all that stuff. And Matt Diavella is another one, and he's all about that minimalism meme. But like there's some like Gary V. Like, don't get me wrong, Gary V seems like a nice guy, but have you ever seen him like talk? He's like, I wake up early, I fucking do cocaine and
See, my thing is like I think the hustle and grind is important, but even more important than that is balance, because the balance is what enables you to do all the work parts long term. And part of that balance is having things that just make you happy, having those releases. Not like part of being able to grind for a long time is not grinding all the time.
See, the thing is like once you're exposed to that like hustle culture, it like amps you up to work, and then so you look at it all the time, and then when you're not running at like 200%, you're like, I'm doing so shit. Like I looked at one like kind of like, oh,
if I don't solve the hunger crisis in Africa today, I'm a failure.
Dude, that's what this shit's
Not
kind of
doing
like.
enough.
There's like the Instagram like motivational money posts, where these guys are like, Warren Buffett started out with $600 and blah blah blah, and now he's worth $6 billion, and it's showing like what he did in between when he was like, it was like when he was 12 versus when he was 91, and it's like, don't get me wrong,
he had $600 when he was 12.
Well, I don't know how much it was. I'm speaking off I don't remember the picture. I just remember seeing it.
I'm just speaking relative. That's funny.
But it's like now Warren Buffett's 91. What the fuck is he gonna do with all that money?
Hopefully, give it away when he's dead.
He'll give it away. I could see him giving it away. He doesn't seem like an evil person who diddles children.
I think about that sometimes though. It's like just that balance of work and life. I do think it is important that people will like do their best to get a handle in it, which is something I'm trying to do my best with. Because I don't have it figured the fuck out, but doing my best.
I think it's really easy to fall into the like grind mindset. I mean, I'm kind of there right now, which is kind of the basis of where this podcast like came from, was stuff like that. And I don't think I'm out of that phase right now. But there's some of it that's so fucking corny that I can't stand it. Like,
dude, motivational Instagram is so funny sometimes.
Oh my god, I could pull it up right now. They're like, get up at 4:30 a.m. It's like, okay, not everybody is Jocko Willink. They're not a Navy SEAL. They're not all gonna get up at 4:30. Come on, man.
Yeah, bro. Like 8's a miracle for me.
I love the ones that are like, I would never trust an Instagram post to like invest in stonks, but like because of quarantine I'm like learning more about stonks and like trying to be more financially responsible, but
invest in some index funds, start a Roth IRA.
No, that's literally what some of these are. But there's some that are like absolutely hilarious. They're like, if Trump wins the elections, you should buy Walmart stock and Bank of America. It's like, who the fuck are you? Why am I gonna listen to you?
I think maybe it's because TikTok was bought by Walmart or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty shoddy connection. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you seen Wall Street Bets, by the way?
Some of it, yeah. I try to avoid it.
Dude, that shit's bananas. People will be like investing $1,000 like in Robinhood, like the mobile investing app, and then they just blow it all like instantly because they're all just day trading, and so they just lose money.
Dude, put it in the VOO.
Put it in the VOO.
Yeah,
it's an
index.
stock?
It's an index fund.
Yeah. Okay. See, I haven't. So since I started like trying to figure out how to invest money, I keep buying plain stocks.
Dude,
I just see it go down.
Dude, cruise ships, how they just absolutely tanked. I bought me some Norwegian.
it's like you feel bad, like you invest, you're like, I'm gonna put $10 in this. It's like it's only $10, and then it becomes like $5 over the next 10 mintes.
No. Like when it went down is when I got to put the money in, so I made it back, which I was happy with.
I ended up buying Carnival Cruise.
I think
like a bunch of stocks in that.
I think I got Norwegian and Carnival. I'm not sure.
I don't think I got a Norwegian now.
I bought them back in like May, so hopefully they recovered.
The what is it? The like remember when the oil prices like tanked into the floor?
I think so. Like they were like
There's this index
free.
fund that used to be worth $115 a share. I bought it for $9.
Wait, you're gonna have to DM me what that one was.
See, what if the entire index fund just vanishes, and then like people are like, "Oh man, I just invested in that."
I mean, there's worse things to lose your money on.
Yeah, I think I'd rather gamble on stocks than gamble in a casino. That's kind of like my like takeaway from it.
There's also like worse stocks to gamble on than an index fund. Like nothing's
okay. What is the Kwite don't invest in this tip of the day?
Well, I mean, index funds are just typically safe. That's not like a huge deduction.
Yeah, that's true. I invested in like a bunch of airlines, and I'm like deathly afraid that one of them's gonna like fold.
Can you tell me if it does so I can invest when it does?
I mean, they're all pretty low. Like American Airlines is $13.
Right now, especially. I remember buying like when Starbucks closed a bunch of their stores. I remember buying some stock in them.
See, on the first episode, I was talking. Kappa and I got on the topic of like stonks.
I listened to that episode. It was good.
See, yeah, good. I gotta figure out what to do when there's no guest because I don't want to miss a Monday episode.
You should like pick a topic, just something that you like.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. I mean, like I do so much reading. I was figuring like I'd like synthesize like a topic into like a little like 20-minute piece.
If you read a book,
people.
Just talk about the thoughts that it provoked in you.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was gonna go for, but it's like, I know I said it on the first episode with Kappa, but like if you have $0 or like $10, just invest in stock right now because like this isn't us trying to pull some Wolf of Wall Street scam. Like it's a little weird, right? But like, dude, we're gonna leave this and start traveling again. Oof! Airlines going up.
Didn't Robinhood like fucking crash like the site itself because of how many people were trying to get in with Apple and like Tesla split their stocks?
So what Robinhood was doing was there was a bug that just let you get infinite free stonks.
Ooh.
And Wall Street bets, instead of keeping quiet, right? Now if I discovered that, I'd keep quiet and then maybe go to federal prison. But the point of the matter is that you don't tell anybody when something really amazing happens because then it's not going to be there anymore. But they did that. And it was like a huge, big fucking issue. And it was all over the news. And all the financial news was talking about it. And it was just a huge, big disaster.
Nice.
But yeah, it was just a bunch of 13-year-olds were just getting free stonks. And yeah. I mean, I didn't get Tesla when I signed up for Robinhood. I got some $3 stock.
I think I did too.
Which was... now it's worth $4.60, so it's gone up
Hey,
$1.
Mr. Businessman, I see you. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Wolf of Wall Street. What did Jordan Belfort even do again? He was like a criminal.
He scammed his clients, I think.
Okay. See, I didn't watch that movie. I should do that.
It is a good movie.
Time.
It's one of the only ones that I've watched.
Jesus. See, I keep like trying to... Like, remember when that Netflix movie came out and people were like, what was that fucking movie? The one made by the French woman and the children?
I don't want to say his name, bro. It's gross.
Oh, Cuties, yeah. Like, people were like, oh, Diesel, you should do a video on it. And I was just like, I don't care. Like, yeah, it's cringe and awful, but I just can't be bothered to watch that.
Like, the thing is, though, like, even, like, the clips that made the rounds on Twitter were enough to make me just think, like, write it off completely, because it's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's really weird. I can't... You know what? I was going to say I can't believe it's a Sundance. Like, I think it won awards at Sundance. But now that I think about it, I am not surprised it won awards. Not surprised at all. And it's not because everybody's pedophiles. It's because everybody thinks they're a fucking genius in film.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a genius in film, so I don't want to say that much. It's just like when you're exploiting kids, it doesn't matter if the message is not to exploit kids because you already exploited the kids.
Did you see the what is it? The interviews from the director where she's
No,
like,
did
"It's
not watch
not,
them.
it's not like this. This is not what it's supposed to be." There were a bunch of interviews that were going around online, because apparently everybody missed the message according to them, but yada yada, death of the author kind of deal.
I didn't watch the
But
movie, so I don't know.
neither did I. But apparently Netflix will not take it down.
I honestly I don't understand why, because no one is watching it like to enjoy it.
No, it's like people are watching it for the spectacle of something this fucking ridiculous. Quite, what are you gonna do with yourself? What's the quarantine ends? You gonna go traveling? You gonna do something interesting?
First thing's probably gonna go to the UK because that was the trip I was meant to go on right when quarantine started.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's pretty funny because quarantine might end literally at the time like where I was meant to go this year, next year.
So when would that be? That'd be like
April, I think.
April,
May or April.
Jesus.
March or April, I mean.
No, I was gonna say it was pretty early in the year when you were saying you were gonna go to the UK, so probably March.
Yeah, I think.
Weren't you? You were thinking of moving to the UK too.
There was it was like tentative, and it may be at some point in the future, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now. Like pandemic aside, I mean.
Pandemic aside.
Yeah, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for what I'm doing.
I heard about in UK there's like all these like housing laws where like if you have a thatched roof, like from the ye olde days, like you have to go to a town board to do like renovations, but they don't want to like change up the homes in England, so you got all these people who have to get their roofs thatched.
I'm not gonna be a property owner, so I don't care.
Yeah, but like that's really fucked up. Like if you gotta get a thatched roof.
I don't know about all that, truthfully.
Do you know what a thatched roof is?
I think I know what a thatched roof is, but I don't know like the intricacies of UK law surrounding it.
I mean, this is just me watching Internet Historian, but like, here, let me show you a picture of a thatched roof. It's basically where you just put like a bunch of straw and you have to live with like a fucking straw roof. So people would like set their homes on fire in England so that way they could get, a better home. And I mean, a thatched roof is gonna be a really great thing to set on fire. So people were doing that.
Yeah,
I did not know this. This is a very common thing.
The thatched roof makes it look like a medieval hut.
I mean, yeah, that's where it's from.
Huh. The more you know.
And according to some other British person I listened to on a podcast, Big Ben is the bell, and the clock is called Clock Steve.
When's Big Ben supposed to come back? Do you know?
Big Ben left. Why did Big Ben leave?
So it rung the last time a couple of years ago, so it could go under renovations. But I forgot when they said they were reinstating it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Damn, we're losing The UK lost Big Ben.
Dude,
that's
fell
exactly
over.
why they lost the war.
Bruh.
Nah, but I don't know. I could see you living in the UK, but I don't know. Everything's so crazy now that I don't know. I've thought of leaving, like moving out of America, if I had the income.
Yeah, the thing with the UK though is because I went there in August last year, for a month, and I just really enjoyed my time in that setting. So I was thinking I'll move there for maybe 6 months to a year or some shit, and then do my stint, hang out with some YouTubers, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's April and I have been trying to figure out what we're gonna do, and obviously the first move wouldn't be across an ocean. But I think if I could speak another language, I'd move to a country where I'd speak the second language rather than anything else.
Nah, bro, I ain't learned anything new. Fuck that.
I think people gotta conform to me. I speak American. I don't know. I've always I've wanted to go to Germany, just to I don't know. That might be a recent thing, but I'm man, I'd like to go there. That seems fun.
Yeah, I mean, the main draw for the UK for me is like I know people there. I have friends in London and stuff, and also I like London. But in like the draw being the people, it just makes sense that they happen to be English speaking. I guess I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, if you like obviously you had a good time when you were there, but that's different than living there. You know, it's a different experience.
I
Like, you
mean,
don't.
I basically did live there. I was there for a straight month on my own in my own apartment.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, the rose tinted glasses. You didn't live there long enough.
You just don't want me to leave, do you?
I mean, like, I don't know. I'm fucking trapped in my home basement. I don't know what to tell you.
Em- like I said,
Dude.
I don't think I'm going to be going to England soon, but I'm not going to say I'll never do it in my lifetime.
Would you ever move to California, the city of YouTubers?
I might go to I think I'm trying to go to San Diego first, but maybe. I don't think LA, like obviously you wouldn't like LA, right?
I mean, like, I guess it's kind of shit. I don't know. I haven't been in LA that much to give like an opinion.
I guess you just said in the past that LA was not a place you enjoyed being.
I kind of, I don't know. I kind of miss it now that I've been gone from it so long. But
We got
I
him,
think
boys.
I think I just miss being in places where people aren't wearing fucking masks.
But yeah, I think
So,
I'd move
yeah.
to LA at some point.
See, I think unless I was like pursuing something, I just wouldn't move to LA. You know,
I mean-
like if I was doing real film stuff.
The thing is, though, like even for YouTube, it's just content central.
That's true.
Even being in San Diego, that kind of proximity gives you so much more flexibility with the kind of people you can collaborate with and make stuff with.
Yeah.
And even in like the back end, like the maybe brand deals and shit, and just resources you can get because there's studios all over the fucking place that you can rent out.
I mean, they're boohoo bucks in California, but yes, you can, like rent stuff out like all the time, and it's readily available. I don't know. It's weird because I always complain about this, but there's like a creator culture on the West Coast, and there's like a shitload of creators on the East Coast too, like in New York, but like nobody fucking interacts at all, and it just irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah, it seems like it would be spread out on the East Coast more, wouldn't it?
There's a lot between like New York and Boston. I think there's a lot more tech YouTubers here though, and I mean, you know, some of the people that are here are like absolutely astronomical, so I'd never be in a room with them to begin with. You know, it's not like I'm not gonna be like walking into the YouTube headquarters one day and it's like, oh hey, binging with Bad Bitch. Like, could you fucking imagine?
I do think New York has a YouTube scene though. Like of anywhere on the East Coast, New York is probably where it's the strongest. You know.
Yeah, New York is definitely where it's the strongest.
Like there's
Who
a lot
else
of
is here?
creators who make content about New York City and live in New York City and like maybe collaborate with people in New York City, but it's not really a community per se. I don't
Yeah, there's just I don't know. There's just none of that like interaction you get on the West Coast. I mean, there might. So for the tech YouTubers, there is. So I've seen like Sam Sheffer interact with like MKBHD and Unbox Therapy, and they're like in between Manhattan and New Jersey. But that's like, and I mean Wang is in Queens, I think. You know, which is kind of Manhattan. But it's like, I don't know. I think people on the East Coast are much less like open to being around people like socially. I don't know. I think it's just like a culture thing.
I guess most of the people who would really be into that collaboration probably went to LA for it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know Casey Neistat started like 368, but like, what the fuck does it even do?
I don't. Wasn't it like a news platform?
No, that was like Bean or whatever.
Beam. I forgot which one
Beam.
CNN bought.
CNN bought Beam. 368 does their own thing. I follow them on Instagram, and they're just like,
They have a YouTube channel from what I remember, and they made
they have
some
like
good
a
videos.
whole like studio and all that. I don't know what the fuck they do in there. I've thought of just sending them an email and being like, can I just like drop by?
Why not? Go for it, man.
Yeah, I thought about that, but then I was like, why would they answer my email? I'm just some guy.
I mean, but if they're not going to answer, then there's nothing wrong with sending it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. There's also like like you said, there's a couple of tourism YouTubers that are based out of New York. What's his name? Blew up like just this last year. Weird time for a travel channel to blow up. But his name's Brett Conti. His channel like blew up. I think he lives in an apartment with like 8 other people though.
Sounds like a TikTok.
It's a big apartment. He's like he travels to like pretty interesting places. Travel vlogger living in New York City.
Looks like he was in Mexico recently.
He just traveled somewhere overseas because I saw it on his Instagram. What can $100 get you in Tulum, Mexico? I am clearly thinking of going there. I'm gonna head there right now. But yeah, his videos about New York had like popped off like earlier in the year when like the pandemic was happening. But there's like a couple, but they just do like weird niche shit. Oh, Mr. Mobile's in Boston. He reviews all the mobile phones and shit.
That's a new name to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's reviewed tech for a long time.
I don't really watch tech reviews if I'm being honest.
See, I'll watch it because like I'm like I can't afford it, so let me just look.
I think the closest thing I watch right now is like Thrill Seeker, and he's just VR news stuff.
Oh, I like his channel quite a bit. Yeah, he gives a lot of good VR news.
Yeah, he's
Oculus Quest news. That are you gonna get something else aside from the Facebook VR spy machine?
I mean, it's the account you don't have to link until 2023, so by then I'll probably be in the market for a new one anyways. Hopefully by then the index or whatever's top tier by then will be a little more accessible.
I hope we have a portable competitor because it's a real like the only reason I was gonna get a Quest because I could use it while it's not plugged in, you know.
Yeah, the shame really is that the Quest 2 does look exciting. Like it looks like in a cheaper but better version of the original. But now like this Facebook connectivity thing I think is gonna kill a lot of public interest that was in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe normies will just be like, I don't care. I got a Facebook anyway.
I think the main consumer market probably won't, but I do.
Yeah, I care about that a lot. Like, I deleted my Facebook profile specifically because they spy on me all the time.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't care about the spying bit. All the tech companies do that. I just, like, don't want to make a Facebook account.
Facebook's pretty, like, invasive compared to other people. Like, I was in a supermarket, and I picked up this coffee, right, like in a can, and I put it back. And I leave the supermarket, and Instagram immediately advertised that exact coffee to me.
Do you think it could have just been location data?
I don't know, but it was literally the exact brand. Like, there's a bunch of other coffees there. Why not something else? Why this specific one in a can?
Well, keep an eye on it. See if it keeps doing it.
Yeah, I'll keep talking about cat food. See if I get any ads for cat food. That's like the whole thing that I remember people were doing.
Once could be a coincidence, but a few times, I don't know. I don't know, Facebook. What's the deal?
I don't know. I'm just really... I wouldn't want to put a Quest in my house at that rate. So I could get like a 3D map of my home to find out what to advertise to me based on the location of my items in a room.
Bro, too late for me. I cannot tell you how many times I've scanned this room to create like the barrier guardian.
Hey, you're just willfully giving them everything they need to know.
Oh, they know what my like fucking office looks like. Congrats.
Well, now they can like market things to you using that.
I mean, I suppose, but I'm not like gonna buy any of it.
See, the trick is that you don't know that they're marketing to you.
I usually don't buy things I see in ads.
Really?
Nah, I mean, I don't get ads on YouTube
moments
anymore because I have premium, so maybe I'm just like confirmation bias.
I'll see stuff on Instagram and I'll be like, ooh, I should buy that.
Nah, I don't really get like that personally. I think like the most is I've like used a couple services that have sponsored YouTubers.
Yeah, I've used a couple services that like YouTubers have gotten like, you know, ads for. Like, I use Skillshare regularly. Not a sponsor for this, by the way. I use Squarespace. I just made my professional portfolio with that. Not a sponsor, by the way, but if they'd love to, I would gladly take them. But it's like, yeah, there's like products out there, but I don't know. Sometimes I'll see stupid shit on Instagram and then I've just bought it and I get it and it doesn't work the way I thought it would, and buyer's remorse.
That's how it always goes, though. After every purchase, I could buy a carton of eggs and feel guilty.
Dude, I feel guilty every time I buy something now. Like, I'm just like, I gotta save all my money.
I'm like, I made that carton of eggs joke, but I don't feel as bad if the purchase I'm making is in service of a goal that I'm trying to achieve.
I mean, I would also say I'm the same way, but sometimes I buy something in service of a goal and then it doesn't work the way I was advertised it was going to. And I'm just like, wow, I made a dumb purchase.
And that sucks, but you can always try and find some other application for that, even if it is as like a fucking book stand.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the stuff I bought for the channel I've used, like, maybe, like, once or twice, but I think now I've realized that, like, I could do my job with much less than I thought I needed. Though right now, I keep going, I want to buy a new camera. And I just keep looking at cameras that I literally could never afford to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still using the same camera I did in 2018, like when channel first started kind of doing all.
Yeah, no, I want to. This is the new Sony camera.
I think
A7S3. Oof.
I think the biggest investment I've made into like buying something for YouTube and whatnot was getting a better computer, because I'm trying to ramp up on streaming and stuff, like, because I've been enjoying it and I just want to do more of it, and also I wanted to do VR, so I figured like getting a better computer would cut down on render and editing times, just general crashes. And I could also use it to try new things for content, So, and like, it was a big purchase, so it was really fucking like, didn't feel great to make, but like being able to rationalize it over like what I'm getting out of the purchase definitely helped.
Yeah, I mean, like, a PC is gonna pay dividends in this. I mean, in most fields nowadays, but like, I mean, streaming, like, fucking. Getting more RAM, boom, run 3 Minecrafts while streaming. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you could buy for the channel and then just write it off.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's just making sure you actually do use it,
It's not evading your taxes if you use it occasionally. I almost said FDA. No, who's the fucking people in charge of taxes?
IRS.
I don't know. IRS.
I only know that because I'm being audited.
You're being audited?
No, I'm not. I'm kidding.
I'm so worried about you being audited, but I don't make enough money for them to care anyway. But.
There's just like a kind of existential fear that she'll be audited, Like, what's the saying? Yeah. Death and taxes are like the only certainties in life?
Death and taxes, the only certainties in life. Yep. I don't know, and then also I have to use TurboTax because I can't afford an accountant.
Hey, TurboTax is a perfectly respectable option.
I don't know, they never save me money.
Well, I mean, they take a lot of the fuss out of the complicated bits.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, I just need to find some guy to do it for no money.
For no money?
Yeah, for no money. Just do my taxes pro bono.
Somebody like that might exist.
Someone like that might exist. Yeah, I can't imagine they'd do it for free. There has to be something else there.
I think there's like pro bono tax programs for like struggling families. I forgot like what the term was, but like lower income families that like perhaps can't afford a like proper accountant.
If anybody would like to help me, my heater doesn't work. Please, I'm a charity case. Yes. My colon is on fire. Please help me.
Lol. You should get that checked out.
Really? It's not like I got an ultrasound. By the way, not pregnant, so.
Really? I would have thought you would be.
Yeah. I heard that joke so many times up into getting an ultrasound. Which, by the way, they do rub that gel on you, and it is weird.
When you told me you were getting, like, an ultrasound, I thought, like, April was getting one, and I'm like, oh, a lot happened, I guess.
No. No kids right now. We need to get our feet on the ground, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That was, it was just
if I
like I was
was
like
pregnant,
I was like okay, I guess, like, good for you, but it was so sudden.
oh my god. Yeah, no, I had to. It was a weird experience. It was really weird to get an ultrasound. The room was dark, and there's a lady rubbed this plastic thing all over my gut, and it was strange. And she couldn't tell me anything there. She's like, "You got to send it to the lab for results." It's like, you can see it right there. What do you mean? I'm like, what's that mean? Am I gonna die? Like,
Those sound pretty intense, I won't lie.
it has been a little intense because like you go to the doctor and they're like, they think it's like the craziest shit, or they immediately think like when the nurse came in and was asking me my symptoms, they're like, "Does your family have a history of colon cancer?" And my heart dropped.
Cool.
But I don't think it's colon cancer. Could be optimistic. If it is, I'll have a really funny message for you. But I'm
It's
hoping
like,
it's not.
Kwite, I've got some news. Do I got a real zinger for you?
Quite, do I got a real singer for you? My time is numbered.
Holy shit. Corona couldn't get you, so I don't think colon cancer can.
Dude, honestly, this year has been so fucking bad for me. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I have faith. I believe in you.
Thanks. I feel so much better about my colon.
I know. It's all because of me.
And speaking of my can't speak. Speaking of my potential demise, this is it. This is Explain It Slowly. Quite where can they find you on the internet?
Just Kwite. Most places, that's it.
Yeah, if you look up Quite, you're gonna see him everywhere. He's a funny guy. He's lovely. He's brilliant.
Thank you.
You should go there. Granted, I think most people listening to this know who you are, but go there because he's brilliant.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
That's very high praise, Diesel.